It may have been a mistake to bring my work outside with me. It seemed like a good idea at the time. My stuffy desk area barely got sunlight from the window at the end of the hall, and I was feeling claustrophobic. I imagined myself as one of those urbane businesswomen, sitting on the edge of the fountain at the park across the street, sipping coffee from a well-worn travel mug while flipping through very important reports, pausing to smile at the children playing at the park. Passers-by would notice me, respect my tenacity to work through the lunch hour. How sophisticated she must be, they would say to each other. The reality, unfortunately, was far from my fantasy. The sun, dim from my desk, was brighter than I expected, and I had to squint against the blinding whiteness of the paper to make out the columns of numbers that made up my boss's expense report. The coffee I'd picked up was already cold in the paper cup next to me, and the wind was threatening to snatch the reports right out of my hands. Not to mention the brats who were splashing on the other side of the fountain. If I got hit with cold droplets one more time, I was going to lose it. But I refused to give up and go back inside just yet. Blowing my hair out of my face once again, I reached for my cup. Even the bitter bite of the lukewarm coffee would be worth the kick of caffeine to get me through the afternoon. What happened next seemed to take place in slow motion. A particularly large splash of water connected with my back, drenching my new suit jacket from collar to hem. I arched and sucked in a breath at the sudden chill, knocking my coffee over onto my slightly wrinkled dress pants. At that exact moment, a gust of wind finally succeeded in ripping the pile of papers from my hands, sending them flying across the busy sidewalk. Swearing under my breath, I scrambled up, ignoring the dampness of my back and pants, and chased the papers as they danced away from me and each other in every direction, swirling as if playing a game. People stepped around me as I ran, half-crouched, clutching the mischievous papers to my chest. Finally, I had gathered them all, and I knelt in the grass, muttering as I tried to smooth out the creases my mad grabbing had created. I didn't notice at first, when a pair of shiny black loafers stopped in front of me. I jumped as a deep chuckle floated down from above me. I followed the length of his legs, clad in expensive slacks, up his torso, sheathed by a crisp white shirt and decorated with a sharp purple tie, up to his mouth, where full lips were forming words. I was entranced by their movement and their perfect placement on his symmetrical face, which itself was devoid of any facial hair, not even a shadow. "Are you okay, miss?" His words finally penetrated the haze surrounding my brain, and my mouth, which had dropped open at some point, snapped shut. I looked up to meet crystal blue eyes. "I'm sorry, what?" My first words were less than intelligent, but the way his eyes sparkled showed me he didn't care. He was amused. "I asked if you were okay." His eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, and I had to catch my breath again. Wind gusts pulled insistently at my papers, and I used it as an excuse to break eye contact and look down at my stack of now ratty reports. Yes, I'm fine. These reports tried to stage a coup, but I got 'em." I laughed at my own corny joke and was pleasantly surprised when he laughed with me. "I'm afraid you may have missed one," he said, holding out a piece of paper with my boss's familiar, unreadable scratches scrawled across the surface. My eyes widened. It was a list of all of her client dinners, probably the most important report in the stack. Of course, that would be the one that almost got away. I reached for it, grateful for my rescuer. "Thank you so much. You have no idea. You've saved my life." He waited for me to grab the paper in his hand, but instead of releasing it, he used it to tug me a step closer. A hint of his cologne, rich and expensive, reached my nose. "Saved your life?" he asked, eyes glinting with amusement and something deeper. Curiosity? Attraction? "This must be a pretty important paper." A lock of dark hair escaped from his impeccable coif, falling onto his forehead.